What's up, everyone? It's your girl Stephanie, and in this episode of KegelSmart, we are going to be talking about Kegels, which is an exercise I have been practicing now for a couple months, and I've seen some real benefits in terms of my sex life. I'm sure a lot of y'all heard about Kegels, but are really not quite sure what the benefits are and how it works. So we're really gonna get into it, and this video is in partnership with Intimina, which makes this device right here, the KegelSmart. This is a personal trainer for the pelvic floor, and I really would never have tried out Kegels if it wasn't for this thing right here, and I'm quite pleased that I did. So before we get into it, if you haven't yet, please make sure to subscribe below. Come join the sisterhood. No matter your true pronoun or gender identity, come join the family. All right, let's get started. The term Kegel muscles is actually a colloquial term for the pelvic floor muscles. And acting like a hammock, these muscles support a lot of our internal organs. The pelvic floor muscles are what you would use to stop a stream of urine or stop yourself from passing gas or having a bowel movement. It's also the muscles that contract during having an orgasm. When the pelvic floor is weak, a number of things can happen. One of the most common things is you can have a urinary incontinence episode. So an example of this would be if you laugh or sneeze or cough and a little bit of urine comes out. That is very common, especially when you get older or when you're pregnant or after you give birth. Like I said before, the pelvic floor muscles are what contract or tighten during an orgasm. So the weakening of these muscles can really affect your pleasure and your orgasm ability and intensity. I personally do not have a weak pelvic floor, but doing Kegels definitely doesn't do me any harm. It actually can help intensify and make my orgasms even better. So that was really my primary interest in doing Kegels, and I will definitely talk about that more in a bit. And in that same thread, Kegels can actually help with vaginal laxity or vaginal tightness. It doesn't actually tighten the muscles of the vagina itself, but it helps to strengthen and tighten the pelvic floor muscles which surrounds the vagina. And this can actually help with increased sensation during sex for you and potentially a partner. With all that said, Kegels have some really great benefits, and I know I haven't even explained how to do a Kegel exercise yet. Kegel exercises can be done without any kind of device. It is the tightening of the pelvic floor muscles. But studies have showed that 50% of women do not do Kegel exercises correctly with just written instructions. It can sometimes be difficult for us to pinpoint those muscles. So with that said, let's talk about this little guy right here. This is the KegelSmart by Intimina. This is a personal trainer for your pelvic floor, which has pressure-sensitive plates underneath the silicone, which can sense how hard your muscles are squeezing around it. This touch sensor technology can track your pelvic floor strength, and it actually will rate your contraction strength on 5 levels. So every time you press this button right here, it will flash a number of times. So 1 being weak and 5 being very, very strong. Every time you start up a new day of exercise, you can track where you are on the spectrum. So before you get started, of course, you wanna make sure it's clean. This thing is 100% waterproof, but wash this guy up, and then you wanna press this little button on the side. Once you press it, you can see where I am here. I got four flashes, and then within 30 seconds, it will begin, which is definitely enough time for you to insert it very comfortably, and you wanna make sure that this string is on the outside of you. And I think in just a second, it's probably gonna start vibrating. It's very, very quiet, but maybe you'll be able to hear it in just a second. Do you hear there's 3 little buzzes? Oh, and there's a long one. Okay, so the 3 little buzzes actually indicates that the exercise is about to start. And then once you feel these, I don't know if you can hear that. It is so, so quiet. It's a very, very low rumble, a very comfortable one too. I don't think anybody would feel any kind of uncomfortable feeling from this really low of a vibration. But every time you feel the vibration, you need to squeeze and lift your pelvic floor. So you squeeze and you lift your butt up a little bit and let go. Squeeze, let go. Oh, and now that we have a big rest. So the beginning is some like kind of rapid squeeze, and now this one's like a long hold, let go. It's really nice to have something like this to kind of guide you and give you some sort of like timeline. I feel like I'm probably messing up my rating on my personal one, right now by squeezing with my hand. I wonder if this is stronger or weaker than my actual muscles. And depending on where you are, your strength level, the routines are 3 to 5 minutes, so not that long. And there will be 3 quick vibrations at the end to let you know that your exercise is over for the day, at least in terms of this. I am waiting to hear those last 3, the zzz, zzz, zzz. But once it is over, once you hear that, the device will turn off on its own, and then you want to just gently pull it out by this string. Also, I didn't mention this before, but it is a good idea to lubricate it before inserting, just to make it a little bit more comfortable for yourself. So I just use like a couple drops and it's all good. You don't have to slather the thing in lubrication. They advise that you do it every day until you get your, oh, that was it. I heard the last 3. They advise that you do it every day until you get up to that 5, that really strong pelvic floor muscle. And then from there, do it, a few times a week for some upkeep. Before speaking further about my personal experience with this, I wanted to briefly just read some clinical trial results to y'all, because obviously not all the benefits of Kegels really are relevant to me. So these trials were done, not paid trials, by Dr. Deborah Wickman. These are 49 women in 12 weeks. 90% reported improved bladder control. 94% reported improved vaginal tightness and tone. 92% reported improved sexual sensation. And here is a quote: "After using KegelSmart, I have seen a big improvement in my quality of life. I have no leakage when sneezing or coughing, and very little for jumping and lifting activities during exercise. This device has greatly improved my quality of life. I've gained back the self-confidence that I had lost. Plus, my sex life with my husband has gotten better, which has brought us closer together." Obviously, the pool of women in this study was quite small. It's a very small pool, but it's good to know that they did these kind of clinical trials without compensation to really get people's real opinions, hopefully, about this device. So in terms of my personal experience, I did it very consistently for, I want to say, a month. Then I kind of slowed down a little bit. I think I had like 4 beeps there. Maybe, I don't remember if I actually got up to 5. I really wasn't paying attention, actually. It just became a thing that I was doing every day. I should have paid more attention to how many blinks I was getting. But it was just like enjoyable to take a moment, to be honest, just a few minutes to sit back and do these exercises. It became a little bit of a ritual for myself, and I will say it definitely improved the quality of my orgasms. I found that after doing Kegels with this device for just a couple, I would say even in the first week, maybe, but definitely within 2 weeks, the buildup of orgasms was much more intense, and then the orgasm itself was like way longer and very, very intense. So I definitely saw some real results. It was pretty amazing when I was doing this very consistently. I feel like because I'm more conscious about those muscles and because I have been working them out, of course it's going to improve the quality of my orgasms. It's not a muscle that you would ever voluntarily tighten and work out pretty much outside of masturbating or, having sex or something sexual. The human body is pretty incredible, and I feel like for a lot of people, orgasms are very mysterious. very, very difficult things to unravel. A lot of it is just like awareness of your own body. I think, for a lot of people, I think orgasms are very mental. But if you're able to get more in tune with your body, if you're able to isolate and tighten certain muscles like the pelvic floor muscles, I think that if you have some problems or a little bit difficulty with orgasms, doing something like Kegels could really help you out. That's actually my personal opinion on it. I typically wouldn't like to just say things like that willy-nilly, but I would definitely try and find some scientific studies. In any case, doing something like this, taking a few minutes out of your day to become more in tune with your own body, only good things can come from that. I know I have a really difficult time doing things like that for myself, or like meditating and those kind of self-care things. And this little device kind of reminds me to take a moment for myself. If you have done Kegels, I would love to hear all about it. Your Kegel related stories, if you would like to share, because I personally have never spoken to anybody about Kegels. I don't think, you know what, I'm not sure, but I don't think that anybody within my circle has done Kegels. And I think that's maybe primarily because I personally didn't even know about some of the benefits of them. If it wasn't for this little device, first of all, I would have never tried it out, and I would have never known it does something like help increase your orgasms, which is amazing. So if you want to check this thing out, of course, it will be linked in the description box down below. And that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Intimina for partnering with me on this. Man, SexSmart just keeps getting better and better. And also, if you have more suggestions for SexSmarts, I know we had a little bit of a break there, but I have some videos planned, and I would love to hear more of your suggestions, especially for SexSmarts and subjects that you would like me to research and talk about. I'm very passionate about this series, and of course, I want to make videos that you want to watch. So, with all that said, I hope that you learned a little bit today. Thank you so much for watching again. I love y'all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.